Before we can get too far talking about inverse functions, we have to start by talking about one-to-one functions. A one-to-one function is a function in which each value in the range corresponds to one element in the domain. So you remember our definition of a function? Our definition of a function states that every item in the domain has one item in the range. So we can't have an item in the domain that has two items in the range. What this is stating is that every item in the range has only one item in the domain. So this is stating that for every D, there's only one R. So in order to be a one-to-one function, only one item in the domain can have one item in the range. Only that item in the range can have that item in the domain. That's what it means to be one-to-one function. So let's take a look. For each of the ordered pairs, determine if it represents a function. So remember, a function, we shouldn't see more than one item in the domain in there twice. And if so, is this function a one-to-one function? That means we shouldn't see any item in the range more than once. So this one, let's look at the domain. Just to see if it's one-to-one. We have -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So the domain is good, so it is a function. How about the range? Do any items appear in the range more than once? 27, 8, 1, 0, 1, 8, and 27. 1, 8, and 27 all appear twice. So the range is not good. It is not one-to-one. Let's look at number 2. Does each item in the domain only happen once? 1, 2, or 0, 1, 4, 9, 16. Yes, so it is a function. How about the range? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Range is good. Each item only appears once, so it is one-to-one. So this is a one-to-one function. So take a look at problem 6 on your own, pause the video, and see if you can determine if these represent functions, and if so, if they are one-to-one. All right, welcome back, and I just want to say, instead of torturing you with giving you various equations and trying to get you to guess if they are one-to-one or not, we're just going to immediately introduce the horizontal line test. So you remember the vertical line test to determine if an item is a function. We have the coordinate plane. We have a graph. Let's just throw a graph in there. We put in vertical lines, and if any of these lines touch the function more than once, or touch the line more than once, it is not a function. The horizontal line test is saying if the relation or function is one-to-one, if you draw a horizontal line anywhere on the graph, if it touches the line more than once, it is not one-to-one. So looking at this first example here in problem 7, no matter where we draw a horizontal line, it's never going to touch more than one point on this line. So therefore, this equation is one-to-one. However, looking at this one, we started down here, it's not touching any points, no problems there. If we touch it right at the vertex, it only touches one point right here. However, if we go any further up, it starts touching 2 points, these horizontal lines. So this one is not one-to-one. So we have problem 8 for you to look at to determine if these are one-to-one functions. So I will end the video here and let you determine if these are one-to-one functions.